Hello, everyone. NBA is done, NHL is done, and we have the WNBA and baseball well into their season, but far away from the playoffs. But you know what we do have? We have the World Cup. Awesome! I love World Cup soccer. I love men's World Cup soccer. I love women's World Cup soccer. I love them both. And I only get them every 2 years. Okay, so I'm so excited it's here. Not only that, it's in my own country of the United States. So expect a lot of videos about World Cup soccer in the coming week or two. All right, so everyone has played their first match. All right, I made original predictions. I did not post video about them, though I've made them public on Facebook. It's now to talk about have the predictions changed, and I actually have gamed out what points every team is going to get. So let's go through it, and I'm not going to have time to spend a lot of time on each group. I've got to get through them quickly. I will put a little extra time into the three host nations groups because, they're the host nations, so I want to show them some respect. First up is one of the host nations, Group A, Mexico, South Korea, Czech Republic, and South Africa. So um, nothing's really changed here. I think Mexico is likely to be first. I think South Korea is likely to be second. I actually put them down to tie on points. Um, I believe they are hitting each other last, and there's this interesting thing that happens in the World Cup. You can call it conspiracy if you want to, but when the two teams most likely to advance meet in the final game of the group, they usually tie. Now, I don't actually think it's a conspiracy. I think it's smart soccer. It is much easier to pull off the tie than pull off the win. Pulling off a win means being aggressive, and that leads to possible counterattacks that aren't very good. So, my suspicion is they'll enter their match with Mexico having a better goal differential, and Mexico's going to stop being aggressive and they're just going to play for the tie. And South Korea won't be able to overcome it, and they'll be tied, but Mexico takes the first and South Korea takes the second. All right, on to Group B. Okay, Group B is includes Canada, so it's another one I'll give a little extra time to. All right, my original prediction was Switzerland first and Canada second, and after watching the first games, I am less confident of it, but I still think that's the way it's going to go. Like, it's not like either one of those teams lost, and um, I think eventually that's going to be how it shakes out. I think they'll both get a win eventually against when they switch opponents, and then when they hit each other, they might pull off a tie, or Switzerland might win. And that's kind of what my prediction is for that group. And I believe Switzerland will be the first seed and Canada the second. All right, we finally get to the first group without a host, Group C. All right, I said Brazil and Morocco are the two best teams here. And they're tying each other actually hurts the chances of other teams getting even the second seed. Okay, because the other teams needed one of them to not get a point out of that match. So that would help them. But instead, they both get 1 point, and then they get to beat up on the other two teams. And I mean, I put Brazil first and Morocco second. But that was my most tenuous placement. They're both very close teams to each other. There's a reason they tied, and it could end up switching. But the first game doesn't change my attitude. I still give Brazil the edge. All right, on to Group D. All right, Group D is the one that the United States is in. All right, and so we'll give it a little more time. The simple fact is, the United States is the best group, a team in this group. They just are. Okay. I don't think anyone thinks otherwise, especially after that first game where they dominated Paraguay. I originally had the United States being first and Turkey being second, and this is my first shift. After watching the first games and the way Australia beat Turkey, I think they're going to be second. In fact, I think mathematically given how much I don't think any of these teams are going to be able to beat the US, mathematically it's hard for Turkey or Paraguay to put. Paraguay is going to have to upset Turkey and beat Australia, and then maybe they can pull it off. And best I think Australia can do is uh, Turkey can do to Australia is tie them and have a better goal uh, differential. That's not likely given how much they lost. I mean, that actually can happen given how much they lost. But I'm still favoring a shift from Turkey being the second to Australia being the second seed. That is what I believe. On to Group E. All right, we have Germany, who everyone thought was first, and I still do. I still think they're going to win it. I think everyone believes that. And this was my second one that has shifted. I had Ecuador at being the second seed. And frankly, after watching what Ivory Coast did to them, I think Ivory Coast is taking it. I think Ivory Coast will be the second seed. Now, I just don't see a way Ecuador comes back because I think Germany's going to beat them up. That gives them two losses, and then maybe they get a win, and that's it. Um, and that's it for them. Meanwhile, Ivory Coast already has a win, and Ivory Coast will probably get another victory as well. Okay, we got to keep going a little quicker. Group F. Group F is an interesting group. It really is an interesting group. Group F has Sweden, Japan, and the Netherlands, and they're all really good teams. All right, they are. They are really good teams. I put the Netherlands being first and Japan being second, and the fact they tied once again when the two best teams tie each other in the first game, that's not good for the other teams, okay? Because the other teams are trying to slide in at second, trying to. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take advantage that one of the good teams knocked off the other good team and trying to go to second. Now neither one did. And so I still believe Netherlands first, Japan second. Sweden's still going to do very good. I think Sweden will be one of the third seeds that's pulled up. But I still favor that. On to the next group we have. We have New Zealand, Iran, Belgium, and Egypt. Belgium, I still think is winning it, just as I did before. But here we come to my next change. I believe that's the third one overall. I originally vaguely put Iran winning second. I wasn't very confident with it. I'll admit, I wasn't. I wasn't sure who to put second to begin with. And after watching those rounds, I feel sorry for Iran. The people of Iran have gone through a lot. Like the citizens of Iran, including the soccer team, has gone through a lot. Okay. Um, and a lot that I don't think they personally deserve. The citizens, all right? I'll leave the rest of politics out of this. I'm just referring to like the soccer team people, okay? Like they they don't deserve to get have families bombed because they're just playing soccer, all right? And but they ended up with a tie and they needed to beat New Zealand. Like New Zealand was the team you're supposed to be able to beat there, and they didn't. Meanwhile, Egypt tied Belgium. Like that's all Egypt wanted. They're like, oh, we just beat the top team in this group. Okay, so Egypt moves into the second place. Once again, taking too long with this video. I wanted it to be under 10 minutes, and I got to keep going quick to make it that way. All right. Moving on to the H group, uh, I said Spain and Uruguay. This one I'm not officially changing. I still think Spain underperformed, but I still think they're going to pull it out. Spain has underperformed before in the first game. Maybe jet lag or something. I think they'll pull it out still as a first place. The big question is, I don't know if Uruguay is still going to be second. I'm not. This is like a half shift because I now think they're going to have to fight for second place, and they might not make it. I guess I give them a slight edge still, but not much. All right, on to I. That's the one with France. France and Norway won. France and Norway were my two top picks. France obviously first because they're actually one of the three best teams in the world right now considered. Norway was going to be second. I still think that Senegal is a good team, but I same thing as before, and that's the way the point differential comes out for me. On to the next group. We got Argentina, who did exactly what they were supposed to do. All right, they won. All right, and Messi proved that he still got it. All right, good for him. Still think he's going to be first. I still think Austria is going to be second. Nothing happened to change that. It went totally according to plan the first games. On to the second to last group that we have here. We have Group K, and Portugal did underperformed. I know, creepy. I had Portugal first, Colombia second. I now think those two could flip, actually. Portugal's underperformance might be not enough for them to overcome what Colombia is going to end up doing. So they might flip orders. I'm not actually changing the two teams that end up being first and second seed, but I could see them flipping. So I guess that's another half change, kind of. And then the final one, England in the L group is clearly first. They beat the second best team with Croatia, and they did it easily. That's not really a shocker. England's an incredible team, and actually my personal favorite to win the whole tournament, mostly because of the path. I know Spain and France are considered better teams, but Spain and France get to hit each other in the semis. Good for them. England doesn't have to defeat either one until the final. Meanwhile, both of them have to defeat two of the top three teams in the world, according to most people. Uh, so I don't think a lot changed. I still think Croatia is probably going to pull off a second place, but Ghana always they're always a dark horse, and they could be a dark horse. That's my original prediction. It's still my prediction after this. So there you have it. It went longer than I wanted to. I wanted it under 10 minutes. I'm sorry it took 12. There will be more videos coming with more World Cup analysis. I hope you tune in.